Ghana's future is rooted in agriculture. To achieve His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali's vision of reducing the region's food import bill by 25% by the end of 2025, the National Agricultural Research and Extension Institute, Narei, is leading the charge through its Crop Development and Support Services Department, or CDSS. The CDSS department is the bridge between research and farmers, transferring tested and proven technologies to boost crop production and productivity across Guyana. The Chief Executive Officer of Narei is Mr. Jagnarine Singh. He gave us an overview of Narei's mandate, especially over the last 4 years, as envisioned by government through the Ministry of Agriculture.
The name National Agricultural Research and Extension Institute, that came into being in 2011, where extension was added, and they were trying with the extension at Narei. Because we know the extension was part of the Ministry of Agriculture or another agencies before. So when I came in 2021, what we would have started is to look at the staffing. We look at the extension staff per farmer on the ground and extension staff for areas, because the extension staff for farmer in regions 1, 7, 8, and 9 may not be the right measurement to deal with extension, the number of extension staff required, because of you need to deal with the distance apart. Region 1, 7, 8, 9, we need a lot more equipment, we need transportation, ATVs, boats, engine. I think we would have done a lot for them over the years, and we continue to add to the fleet of the staff moving around. On the coast, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, I also consider these part of the coast. It's a little easier to deal with. You can go to farmers more easier, and so on. We would have done a lot in terms of improving the offices. Even right here at Narei, you see we would have renovated that building, increasing the size of the building, add a little training room down below the building, and so on. If you look at what we would have done, not just transfer technology to farmers. One other thing is that one of the very big things, and I'm sure that the Ministry of Agriculture would have allowed us to do, is to support farmers with very simple things, small equipment, small tools. Minister goes out a lot of times and talk about, give us the public service announcement of planting materials and so on. We realize today that we cannot, from the nurseries, and they're saying we have the 11 nurseries across the country, we cannot provide enough planting material. We're doing tissue lab, we're trying to increase the capacity of each of these nurseries, but it can only grow so much. Tissue culture, I've heard we're setting up to at least do 1 million plantlets a year. The capacity of the nursery is about, the capacity of the tissue culture facility that we are setting up would give us about 4 million plantlets a year, but we started off with, say, reach the first thing. Milestone is 1 million plantlets a year. If you look at the amount of support we have given farmers, every month we keep a tab on what we would have given. I'm sure we close to about $200 million for 2024. When we put the price of the seeds, the plants, the equipment, the shade houses, and so on that we would have given them. Those are things that enable the farmer. What we try to do is not just the technology, but enable the farmer so that they can increase their, one, the production, and two, the productivity in some areas, so that they can at least make some good living with whatever they're doing.
The work of the CDSS has revolutionized the production and productivity of the nation's farmers, especially those along the coast, resulting in more of the high-value crops being produced and sold on markets locally.
One is we target some crops, and you know the crop like corn, so we are working with the big producers who are the big producers who have the capacity and the financial wherewithal to do those, because that's the corn soybean is a big ticket item on this 25 by 2025. But in the smaller scale, we are now working with farmers to produce the high value crops, the broccoli, the cauliflower, the bell peppers, and so on. If you look at the market today, You will find a lot of these broccoli, cauliflowers, bell peppers are locally produced. A few years ago, they all were imported, right? So we hopefully we're working and I see the weather is changing. Once we get good weather, we can get those things. We can produce enough for Guyana. In addition to that, I mentioned the shade houses with smart agriculture. We can end up producing a lot more for farmers. Over the years, but this year, the target is 200 shade houses. Narei and the coast and a little bit, well, I'd say 10 houses coast, we would have constructed over 160 shade houses to date for this year and over 500 since 2020 when the government came into power. And that is adding to the capacity to produce those high-value crops.
Overseeing the day-to-day operations of the Extension Services Department of Narei is Deputy CEO Mr. Puran Siraj.
We provide service to our farmers in three broad categories. One, we talk about input and technical support to farmers. We talk about technology transfer, and we also talk about data collection. So to start with, the technical and input supply support to farmers, we conduct regular and routine field visits where we interact with farmers and to find out what issues they may be having with their crop. And our extension officers who are trained from either the Guyana School of Agriculture or graduates from University of Guyana or further field, they have the requisite knowledge to advise farmers on how to overcome these issues that they might be having with their crops. We also have the technology transfer where we conduct field schools with our farmers. A field school is a normally informal setting where farmers, they come together and we conduct trainings. And also we have demonstration plots. Now demonstration plots is where we establish, say, a stand-off crop in the farmer's field and we observe what's happening, and farmers tend to attend these sessions and learn better. Now we might be introducing new crops, we might be introducing new pesticides, new fertilizer regimes, etc. So this is a good way, and it's proven the best way for farmers to come together and learn to adopt new technologies. We have been cultivating and introducing new crops into farmers' field. One of the agenda of the Ministry of Agriculture is import substitution. In addressing the amount of food import to the Caribbean, we have been cultivating crops such as broccoli, cauliflower, carrot, the bell peppers, etc. So we have farmers working with us in these demonstration plots to adopt these technologies to cultivate these new crops. So farmers feel to serve as a good learning ground for these farmers. Now, addressing food security. While we work with the Ministry of Agriculture, we aim to increase one, production, and two, productivity. Now, while land might be in the same static in terms of the acreage that farmers have, we aim to increase productivity, meaning that we must produce more from the same unit of land. So we work with farmers, we come up with new technologies, say for example new varieties, that is high-yielding varieties. We work with farmers on new fertilizer regimes, rates of fertilizer application, so we can increase production and productivity. At the same time, farmers tend to increase acreage, increase production.
Another critical function of the extension arm of Narei is data collection.
We also do a lot of data collection. We do data collection in terms of crop production, crop productivity. We're currently working on an electronic farmers database. So when there is need for us to reach out to farmers, say for example to provide assistance, the government need to roll out, say, a farmer's grant, or to have a good management of that, we have what we call the AIS, which is the Agriculture Information Systems. So our officers will go there and collect these data, the farmers' biodata and all the cultivation data, and we have them stored in a central electronic system where we can access. Now we also do what we call farm gate prices to measure what's the price at the farm gate as opposed to what's the price at the market, so we can have a better understanding to help to know if the government needs to come in with what we call farmers market in order to enable farmers to get better prices and so.
CDSS also provides critical agro inputs, reducing production costs and increasing farmers' profitability. These include fertilizers, pesticides, high-quality seeds, and tools. Help and guidance is also provided in helping farmers engage in climate-smart agriculture, that is, engaging in the business of agriculture with the weather in mind. In this regard, Narei provides shade net and subsidized irrigation systems, such as drip irrigation hoses and sprinklers. Training sessions for farmers is central to the work of the CDSS. Mr. Nihal Pattison is a training officer in the Extension Department.
Basically, the training department is there to enhance farmers from a group perspective in relation to training and to building their technical capacity. For the training department, we try to give farmers the guidance in relation to technology transfer to the research department. Our main aim is to have farmers to better develop themselves through the cultivation aspects, whether it's from the aspects of a open field scenario or from the aspects of a shade house climate smart scenario. Our system basically is able to enhance farmers in training and development through various topics or sections. According to the needs assessments of the farmers, if the farmers have issues in relation to, let's say for instance, the cultivation of various exotic types of crops such as cauliflower or broccoli, we basically provide the technical guidance in relation to how they can provide that crop, given the aspects of having good quality production within their cropping system. Advice is given in relation to pest and disease management, land preparation, fertilizer application, and whatever else that concerns the farmers from their issues or the challenge that they would have. Basically, it's a relationship between the research department and also the farmers. So we take in force, whether it's data, whether it's a tactics that the farmers learn, it is being shared to Narei and share advice as well to the farmers as well. So it's a top-down and bottom-up approach so as to ensure that the farmers have better quality in the production system.
Through collaboration, training, and resource distribution, Narei's CDSS department is transforming Guyana's agricultural landscape. At Narei, we're committed to empowering farmers, strengthening communities, and achieving a sustainable agricultural future. Join us as we work together to make Guyana a regional leader in food production.